What about the concept, a smaller player, hard, soft surface, developing a product that maybe they could find a niche here, there, the other place, maybe not huge, but do a reasonable business? Is that an approach that could work for a smaller player?
Well, historically in this industry, when somebody comes with a niche product, they've got about 6 months to exploit it.
And then everybody's in it.
Everybody else is in it. And if you're trying to go into Asia, that's probably a shorter time period than that, 6 months.
Yeah.
If you're going into Europe, but again, Europe is right now is not the time to be necessarily trying to sell in Europe. But my attitude is, and I have been successful with it over the years, is that when the currency is going against you, is the time to develop your game plan, set your game plan, decide where you're going to go, invest the money into research and everything that you have to do to put that product out. This is the time to do that.
So it will change.
It'll change again. It's just a matter of when. The Greek thing, yes, it has. The Greek is a small part of the overall issue in Europe, but it sets a precedent. They're eventually going to probably come out of the euro. When that happens, they're probably going to pay down their debt or be absolved of some of their debt. But they set the precedent for other countries that are struggling, Portugal, Spain, Italy, to do the same thing. And that's far-reaching. But the dollar during this turmoil is just going to strengthen. It's going to get stronger yet. We're almost on a parity. We're not at a parity. We're within 10% of being a parity with the euro. We could become very close to being at a parity with the euro in the very near future. That will change as the economic issues in Europe start to resolve themselves. And at that point in time, that's when you want to be ready with your game plan to go there. Okay. So you may have a year, 2 years, 3 years, but your time to decide what you want to do is now. And the problem is you can't do that on a niche product, because a niche product, you got a short lifespan on it. You got to get in there, get out, and move on to the next thing. So if you're going to get into export, you got to be thinking long term, where you want to be and how you want to be there.
Okay. Smaller companies, as you mentioned, this would be a good time to start doing your homework. Decide where, right. How do you do this, what distribution. How
do you do it? Do you have the stomach for it? Have you got the wherewithal, not only the financial wherewithal, but the mental wherewithal in order to stay in the market until things start to turn around?
What product groups do you think would have a better possibility at success long term?
Well, it's no different. Sorry, Dan, I forgot.
I'll ask you that question again.
Okay. Okay.
What type of product groups do you think would have a better future starting now to look at international?
Well, the international market depends on whether you live on commercial or residential. If you're commercial, the product that sells and sells extremely well is carpet tile. If you're going residential, the hot product worldwide, not just here in the United States, is LVT. So those are the growth products. Wood, if you're going to look at wood, you're going to be looking at engineered wood, because the solid wood, for with environmentally, installation-wise, different types of substrates you're going over, the engineered product just makes more sense. It's already accepted internationally. It's getting more and more accepted here in the United States. So if I was in any one of those categories, carpet, it would be carpet tile. Residentially, it's a very tough market because the looks internationally are different than they are here in the United States. Matter of fact, many of the commercial looks are residential when you go to Europe and places like that. Resilient, LVT is the hot product here. It's a hot product worldwide, and engineered wood. Ceramic, that's a tough road to go. There's not many small niche players from the United States that are going to ship their product overseas. Mm-hmm. Now, you also got to look at the logistics too, because the handling of the product is also critical. So.
I see. Are we on the front end of a period where we're going to see foreign companies setting up shop here in the United States, from Asia, South America, Europe as well?
Well, they've been wanting to do it for a long time. Especially the Europeans have tried it, and many of them have failed for the reasons we talked about earlier. The Chinese companies that have come over here have tried, or they've suggested they were going to try, and they have this idea that they can just come over here and overpower the market with strictly price. But they've got the negative connotation about their quality, which may or may not be true. They've got the issues with price, service, shipping it here. where they're going to warehouse it, where they're going to store it. There's no one distributor they can go to cover the whole United States. They think they can go to a big box store and get it in a big box store. But again, they have to handle all the logistics issues and all the other issues, understanding the marketing of it here in the United States. They need to do their homework before they even consider that. And I think those that have tried before are going to be reluctant to try it again. Those that have never tried it, all my advice to them is they need to hire somebody to come in and talk to them about the ups and downs of the market.
Yeah.
And talk about the pitfalls before they start investing a lot of money.
Mm-hmm. And that's in essence what you do for companies, whether they want to come into the U.S. or a U.S. company that wants to
Exactly.
look at international. Talk about some of the categories that you check out when you're working on behalf of a client.
Well, it all depends. Again, a lot of it has to do with the product category. You analyze the competition. You look at the demand for the product in that particular market. You look at the price points, whether you can be competitive price-wise against what's there. And if there's a big enough window of opportunity to sell the product, then you got to look at the logistics side of it. You got to figure out how you're going to ship it there. Once you get it there, how are you going to clear customs, get it stored there? Are there inhibiting laws to selling your product in that particular country? I mean, we think we're the United States, our products are the best there are in the world, but the truth of the matter is there's countries out there that won't take our product for one reason or another. Same thing if you're a Asian company coming into the United States. You've got this big thing with one of the big box stores right now in the wood side with formaldehyde in the adhesive. Those are things that are accepted some places in the world, and yet they're not accepted in other places. So you got to do all your homework first. And I can tell you, having talked to somebody that's in the wood business just recently, that the product that they were talking about bringing in, they never even given any thought to how the product was manufactured. They were just looking at the visual on the surface, and they never gave anything thought about the chemicals that were used in order to bond that product together. It's a big mistake because of the fact they could get here and it would never get approved. Or they'd get it here, get it established, and somebody would find out about the fact that they had a chemical in there that's a carcinogen or some negative, and it would cost them the millions it could cost them down the road. So they got to do their homework before they come.
So that time period, you were talking somebody going abroad 1-2 years, that's pretty much what you're going to have to invest either way you're going.
The 1-2 years is I was mentioning was because of the economic situation where we're at now with the dollar being so strong. But as that dollar gets more towards not a parity, but a more reasonable number, that window could go down to 6 months. But you need at least 6 months to 2 years, 6 months to 18 months in order to do your homework and get the product ready to go. You can start marketing the product within 6 months to a year. You'll probably get some sales within 6 months to a year and a half, but your product won't be really established and in the marketplace where you really get a return off it for a year and a half. And you've got to accept that. And it doesn't make any difference whether you're going commercially or residentially. If you go for that immediate sale and try to sell strictly container loads on a residential product overseas, there's only a few markets you can still do that in, if you can do it at all. And that's an immediate gain, but it's not a long-term gain.
I got it. Just to sum up, give me your thoughts on this Council of Flooring Industry Advisors. Sounds like a good idea to me.
Well, Wanda came to me with the idea a long time ago and said, would you be interested? And at the time, I was still at Mohawk, actually, and I said no at that point in time. But shortly after I left Mohawk, I told her, if something came of it, I thought it was something the industry need. And whether it's for my own financial gain wasn't my driving force. The driving force was the industry needs it. The professionalism of the industry needs it. And I think what she's come up with is a good program. I think that the individual players that she started out with, we all bring something to the table. We all help the individual companies that are trying to do something overseas, and we can stop them before they make major mistakes. And that's whether it's environmentally, whether it's logistically, whether it's color design. All those issues come into play, and we can help them domestically here in the United States if that's the only market they want to go to, or if they want to go overseas, which is something that I offer, we can do it overseas as well. And we've got people overseas doing what I'm doing that can help the overseas companies in conjunction with myself, going both ways. So,
very good. Well, thanks very much. It sounds like a great idea. It's good that you're a part of it.
Well, I'm feeling very honored to be included in it. So. I wish all of your listeners well and hope they're doing good.
Very good. Thank you very much, Rich.
Thank you.
We've been talking to Rich Burkemper. He is the owner of RJB Associates. We're talking about the AFA's Council of Flooring Industry Advisors. And this is Talk Floor TV.